Good evening, children. So, in the last class, we have learned about the basic components of cell, and we have discussed all the three components of the cell, such as cell membrane, which is also known as plasma membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm. Apart from this, we have also learned that in plant cells, in addition to the cell membrane, cell wall is also present. Okay, and how it functions and what is the structure of cell wall, that also we have discussed. Now we will come to the other important aspect of cell, that what, as we have already learned, that what is a cell made up of, right? So we have seen that to perform the various vital activities, a cell is made up of various components which are known as cell organelles. Okay, so today we will start our discussion with cell organelles. You all know that every cell organelle is having a membrane bound structure which is present inside the cell, so that they will separate their contents from the rest of the external environment of the cell. So you know, some cells are large, some cells are small, but we must accept it, and we must know that every cell, irrespective of its shape and size, they have a they have cell organelles present within them, which performs a lot of activities inside the cell, so that the cell will be able to perform its specific function in the living body, and also maintain and also it will be able to maintain its shape. So cell organelles are nothing but these are the small membrane bound structures which are present in every cell, which helps the cell to perform its basic functions or respective different chemical activities. Okay, so if we will talk about cell organelles, we will see that the cytoplasm has a number of cytoplasmic structures. Cytoplasmic structures are those structures which are present in the cytoplasm. Okay, so I have already told you that cell organelles are generally present in the cytoplasm of the cell. So the cytoplasm has a number of cytoplasmic structures, and you can divide those cytoplasmic structures into two categories. The first category is known as cell organelles, and the other type of cytoplasmic structures are known as cell inclusions. Okay, as you all know that cell organelles are nothing but these are the living cytoplasmic structures. That means the structures which are living in nature and they are present in the cytoplasm, and they have a membrane bound structure. All the structures of these cell organelles are having a membrane bound, whether it is single membrane bound or it is double membrane bound, but it all must have a membrane. Okay, for example, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, mitochondria, plastids, and lysosomes. Okay, on the other hand, there are certain cytoplasmic structures which are present in the cytoplasm, but they are not living, they are actually non-living, and they don't have a membrane outside its body. Okay, such type of cytoplasmic structures are known as cell inclusions. Okay, the very best example of cell inclusion is vacuole. Vacuole is the very good example, because vacuole is not living. Okay, it is not living, and it is generally present in the plant cells, because its important function is to carry it acts as a storage organ to store waste material or food, anything. So the example of cell inclusion is vacuole. Apart from that, you can also say ribosome also is a cell inclusion, but you cannot say ribosome as cell inclusion, because the most important it is membrane bound, and its important function is ribosome is the smallest particle. It is present in the form of granules. Its main function, all of you have learned that it is associated with the protein synthesis. Okay, so you can consider it as a link between the cell organelles and cell inclusion. It comes in between cell organelles, because it is having a it doesn't have a it doesn't have a membrane bound structure. Okay, but since it is having a particular function, so it comes in between cell organelle as well as cell inclusions. Okay, most specifically, cell inclusions includes vacuole. Okay, so since we have learned that these are the basic most important organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, Golgi body, plastids, and lysosomes, so today we will start with the first cell organelle, that is endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, you can see the diagram here. Okay, this diagram, this lightish skin color diagram is this diagram of a nucleus. You all have learned the structure of a nucleus. You can see the outermost covering is the nuclear envelope, or you can call it as nuclear membrane. You all know that nuclear membrane is interrupted at certain positions, which is being denoted here as nuclear pore on the left hand side. Okay, so endoplasmic reticulum was first observed by the scientist Garnier in the year 1897, but its name was given by the scientist Potter. Okay, it is very much microscopic in structure, so it needs to be observed under electron microscope. You all know that there are two types of microscope: simple microscope and compound microscope, that is electron microscope. So we need to see it under higher magnification using a electron microscope, because these are very microscopic in structure. Okay, endoplasmic reticulum. Now endoplasmic reticulum is a network of channels which are bounded by membrane and are interconnected with each other. In the diagram, you can see on the distal side of the nuclear membrane, you can see it is attached with the nuclear membrane, and you can see there are different structures, interconnected structures are present in a bunch, which is known as endoplasmic reticulum. So endoplasmic reticulum is an irregular network. You can see the network is not of the equal shape, right, equal size. It is of irregular shape and size. Okay, so these are the irregular network of channels which are found in near the membrane of the nucleus. Okay, and it is scattered throughout the cytoplasm. If you will observe a cell under the microscope, you will see that they will scatter to a great distance in the cytoplasm of the cell. Okay, they, and it also say and if you will see endoplasmic reticulum is generally absent in all the prokaryotes. We have already learned that prokaryote cells doesn't have cell membrane bound structures, organelles. Okay, but they are generally present in all the eukaryotic cells, but it is absent in RBC, that is red blood cells. Red blood cells doesn't carry endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, if you observe its structure under a electron microscope, you will see that there are three components which together forms the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, the first one is known as cisternae, the second one is known as tubules, and the third one is known as vesicles. So cisternae, tubules and vesicles together makes the complete endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, you can see in the figure those tube like flattened sheets, these are known as cisternae. Okay, so cisternae are nothing but these are narrow two layered, you can see those two layers. Yellow color lumen is there. Yellow color lumen is being enclosed by two layers. Okay, so these cisternaes are narrow. You can see these are narrow. These are two layered, and it is unbranched. It doesn't have branches, right? These are unbranched elements, and it is generally present, you can see in the figure, it is generally present near the nucleus. Okay, they lie one upon the other. You can see those networks are formed, those tubes are formed just one after the another. Okay, in the form of stack, loaded with, and you can see they are loaded with ribosomes. Those purple colored dots on their surface is nothing but they are ribosomes. Okay, so they are mainly found in protein forming cells, those cells which are helps in protein formation. In those cells especially, this rough endoplasmic reticulum is present. So you, on the basis of this ribosome present, you can classify endoplasmic reticulum into two categories, that is rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. In the figure you can see that this cisternae contains dots, that is ribosomes on its surface, so they are known as rough endoplasmic reticulum. On the other hand, you can see that on the right hand side of the figure you can see those tube like structures, right? Those tubules, they don't have any dots on its surface or any purple color structures on its surface, so they are without ribosome, so we can call them as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. It is being marked there. Okay, so this is, so first so on the basis of the ribosomes we can say that endoplasmic reticulum is of two types: rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, now see, we have seen that each endoplasmic reticulum is a network, and it is made up of three components. Cisternae, we have discussed that cisternae are the narrow unbranched double layered elements which is present near the nuclear membrane. Then the second type is tubules. You can see those tubules, right? Those tubules on the right hand side, these are wider, they are very much wide. They are tubules like, they're in the form of tubes and they are branched, but you can see that there are numerous tubules present, they are branched. Okay, they are present near the cell membrane. I have told you that endoplasmic reticulum is distributed among the cytoplasm. They covers a great extent of region in the cytoplasm. So they are generally present near the cell membrane. Okay, and they are generally without ribosomes. You can see there they don't have ribosomes, and they are forming a part of smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And since they are not having ribosomes, so we know that they will not help in protein synthesis, but instead of protein synthesis they will help in the synthesis of lipids or fats. Okay, and the third part is vesicles. Vesicles are nothing but these are the oval or rounded structures which are scattered in the cytoplasm. If this is only the structure of the endoplasmic reticulum in this figure, when you observe a cell, you will see that small rounded structures are distributed along the cytoplasm of the cell. Those are nothing but those are vesicles, a part of endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, those are also loaded with ribosomes and they are also responsible for protein synthesis, and they are generally found in protein forming cells. So we have seen that every network of endoplasmic reticulum is made up of three types of components, that is cisternae. Those are elongated unbranched double layer structures. In this figure you can see, and they are present generally near the nuclear membrane, and they are also loaded with ribosomes on its surface, so they help in protein synthesis. Then there are tube-like structures, these which have wider lumen. They are present nearly towards the cell membrane, and they don't have ribosomes, so they are forming a part of smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and they help in lipids and or fat synthesis. And the third component, which is scattered all throughout the cytoplasm, is vesicles, which are rounded or oval shaped structures which are also loaded with ribosomes and helps in protein synthesis. Now, on the basis of the ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulums are being classified as rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. Last is the function of endoplasmic reticulum. There are so many important functions are there, but the basic functions you all know that rough endoplasmic reticulum is generally associated with the formation of proteins in the cells. Okay. And smooth endoplasmic reticulum is associated with the synthesis or manufacturing of the fats or lipids. Okay. Apart from this, we can also say that rough endoplasmic reticulum, since it helps in the formation of protein synthesis, which are having ribosomes, they also change into smooth endoplasmic reticulum by not having ribosomes. Okay, they change into the smooth endoplasmic reticulum by removing the ribosomes from its surface. Okay, endoplasmic reticulum acts as a circulatory system and helps in the transportation of materials in a particular direction. You can see that it acts as a circulatory system of the cell because it is scattered throughout the cytoplasm from nuclear membrane to cell membrane, isn't it? So it acts as a circulatory system, and you can also say that it is present in the form of network, as I have already told you that it is present in the form of network like structure. So it also provides a kind of mechanical support and shape to the cell. Okay, then we can say that it helps in the formation of synthetic products like glycogen. Okay, storage, it helps in the storage. As I have told you that small rounded or oval shaped structures called vesicles are also present in the cytoplasm, so they generally acts as the storage organs or storage components which generally stores products like glycogen. Glycogen is the stored product in our body, isn't it? Then smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So smooth endoplasmic reticulum also helps in the synthesis of steroid hormones. You all know that our body secretes a lot of hormones. So steroid hormones such as testosterone in males and estrogen in females is a kind of steroid hormone which is also secreted by smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. Then so if the reticulum is present in the muscle cells, you all know that our skeletal system is composed of muscles. So if the endoplasmic reticulum is present in muscle cells, then they are known as sarcoplasmic reticulum. So sarcoplasmic reticulum contains a special type of reticulum which helps in the release and trapping of the calcium ion. So this is all together about the structure of endoplasmic reticulum and its functions. Okay. Then we will see membrane biogenesis. As you all know that endoplasmic reticulum helps in the formation of proteins and lipids, isn't it? By rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum respectively. Now these proteins and lipids are important for the formation of cell. Okay, so some of these proteins and lipids helps in the building the cell membrane, and this process of formation of the cell membrane is called membrane biogenesis. Okay, fine. Now our next and the last cell organelle of today's discussion is Golgi apparatus. Okay, now Golgi apparatus was first observed by George in the year 1861, but its morphological details, means its structure, its is being given by the scientist Camillo Golgi in the year 1898 while he was observing the nerve cells in the cats and owls. Okay, as you all know that these are generally absent in the prokaryote cells, but they are the most important feature of eukaryotic cells, but they are again absent in mammalian RBC. They are absent, they are not found in RBCs. Okay, if you see these structures under the electron microscope, again you will see that these are also composed of three kinds of components. One is cisternae, the second one is vacuole, and the third one is vesicles. Okay, so you can see the diagram here. Okay, these are the structures of Golgi bodies. Okay, so Golgi bodies are composed of cisternae. Cisternae is nothing but these are the elongated narrow tube-like structures with the solen ends. You can see those structures at the solen. Those ends are solen. So this sheet-like structure, this tube-like elongated structure is nothing but it is known as cisternae. Okay. Now this cisternae is having a concave side and a concave side. Okay. So the concave side, that is below, this is concave, below side, that is trans phase is concave side. Okay, so on the concave side those rounded structures are known as vacuoles. Okay, so on the concave side vacuoles are present. Vacuoles are spherical structures. Okay, and on the convex side, that is on the upper side of the cisternae, you can see that it is written there cis phase. The cis phase is having vesicles. You can see those transport vesicles. Those vesicles are being acting as a storage organs or packaging materials in the Golgi apparatus. So you can see that Golgi apparatus is having three components again. Cisternae, those flattened tube-like structures with solen ends. On the concave side of it contains vacuoles, larger spherical vacuoles, and on the convex side, that is cis phase, you can see small rounded structures which are smaller in size than vacuoles. Those are known as vesicles. Okay. Cis phase means it is the formative phase and it is present towards the nuclear membrane. Okay, and the trans phase, that is the concave phase is located towards the cell membrane. Okay, fine. Now Golgi apparatus is generally associated with the function of modification, storage. It will store the lipids and proteins which is being synthesized by the endoplasmic reticulum. It will modify those molecules and it will act as a packaging material for those molecules, and they will transport it to different regions of the cytoplasm. So we can say that Golgi apparatus works in close association with endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, they are generally present close to endoplasmic reticulum. So whatever lipids or proteins or fats are synthesized by the endoplasmic reticulum, they are being transported to the Golgi apparatus, where Golgi apparatus acts as a storage. They will modify those molecules and they will transport it to different regions of the cytoplasm. Not only cytoplasm, they will also transport those proteins inside the nucleus whenever it is needed. Okay. Now we will come to the, we can also say that in plants these Golgi bodies are known as dictyosomes. In animal body they are known as Golgi apparatus or Golgi bodies, but in case of plants they are known as dictyosomes. Okay. Fine. Now we will see at the end what are the functions of Golgi bodies. So you all know that we can say that they act as a packaging material of the cell. So if somebody will ask you what are the packaging material of a cell, then you can say that it is Golgi apparatus, because they are generally responsible for packing the molecules and materials and transporting it also to the different parts of the cell. Okay. Then you can also say that it helps in the synthesis of polysaccharides, that is complex sugars from simple sugars. Okay, they also helps in the formation of glycoproteins. They are help involved in the transformation process. Lysosomes, I have already told you, lysosomes is also a very important cell organelle of the cell. So it is being synthesized by whom? Golgi apparatus. Okay. Now, and finally, they are responsible for the secretion and transport in the cell. So today we have learned about the two organelles, endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus. Okay.